Hey everyone. Today I'm going to go over my journey to learn the parallel handstand and handstand push-up. We'll go over what I learned and some tips that you might be able to take in your own journey. Let's get into it. So my goal at the start of this journey was to be able to do a parallel handstand away from a wall and then to be able to do one very clean dominant handstand push-up on the parallettes. I already did have a very strong base of being able to do hands on the ground handstands and be able to do 3 sets of 10 reps of handstand push-ups on my hands. So the only thing I really had to factor in was the parallettes and a little bit extra depth on the handstand push-up. Still, it's a very different grip, so figuring out how to actually balance was a bit tricky. Still, I wanted to be able to maintain what I previously had and be able to go in between the different grips. So here at the start of my workouts currently, I'm still doing my hand on the ground handstands to be able to maintain that before going into parallel work. So to be able to do the handstand on parallettes, I knew that I needed a lot of practice and I needed consistent practice. So just doing this training on my push day would not be enough. So I had 2 sets that I would do normally on my push day alongside the hands on the ground version, but then I would also do them every morning for an additional 2 sets. And this way I would be able to go up and then get that additional practice every day to start getting adjusted to hands on the parallettes. The reason why I didn't do more sets is because I was also doing the handstand push-up on parallettes where I had to kick and do a handstand anyway, so I was going to get practice when I moved into that movement. Ultimately, I was able to get my handstand away from the wall in week 6. I was finally able to conquer the fear by understanding my balance and feeling a lot more confident in the movement. These are very synergistic moves, the handstand push-up and the handstand, because you need to be able to master a handstand before you go into the handstand push-up. And in order to get that efficiency in your handstand push-up, you want to be able to quickly and effectively get into your handstand, so that way you're in the dominant position without using as much stress. Now for the handstand push-up, it also benefited from greasing the groove. I did a lot of every minute on the minute training, especially with negatives at the start, just to understand the balance and the depth when it comes to the parallettes. So both these movements were definitely ones that you wanted to have a high amount of reps at the start so you could understand the movement. Now, it's important that if you're learning a skill like the handstand push-up on parallettes, where you need a significant amount of strength to accomplish it, but you're kind of slashing that volume of strength that you were previously working on, that you need to have some supplementation afterwards to be able to maintain that strength and that muscle that you previously built. So I still like to do hands on the floor handstand push-ups following these sets. Because you are a bit fatigued, you're not going to be able to do the exact same numbers that you previously did unless you're very superhumanly strong. So I would just make sure that I would go in, try to get as many reps as possible, and then try to progress that number slowly over time, along with the handstand push-up on parallettes quality and reps on that side. So making sure that you're still being able to get the quality with your parallel handstand push-ups, as well as the volume and strength building from the hands on the floor was pretty beneficial. This could be applicable for any stage, so if say you're learning the freestanding handstand push-up with your hands on the ground, maintaining doing things like pike press or elevated pike press or even shoulder press, something where you're still able to get that volume of strength gains is very key to keeping your training consistent and you're able to keep going forward. Ultimately, I was able to get my first freestanding handstand push-up on the parallettes in week 3, and by the end of the 2-month period, I'm consistently doing 2 reps, so I can't really complain and I'm happy with the progress. So ultimately, my program was designed around 2 things. For the handstand, it was focusing around understanding the balance on parallettes, and that's the different grip, understanding where I need to put pressure on my palms, so not only that I can kick up comfortably into a handstand, but maintain it even if things slightly get off schedule. And then for the handstand push-up on parallettes, the goal was trying to figure out not only the balance throughout the entire process, but also that additional strength demand at the bottom. Parallettes aren't that much higher off the ground, but you can feel it. Anyone that's ever added that extra range of motion in any movement, whether it's a push-up or in a handstand push-up, knows that it is a extra burden that is brutal sometimes to push yourself out of. So being able to work and understand the balance needs as well as the strength demands were critical. Now, when doing a push day and you're only doing handstands and handstand push-ups, you're getting a lot of shoulder work and you're getting some tricep activation, but you're not getting much chest. So I like to add in different variations of push-ups to the end of the workout. I do them on parallettes as well as doing hands on the ground, I do this for a combination of both strength building as well as a conditioning piece, and I just like to balance that out so I can have a balanced physique, and that way I can also still build strength that will carry over into the handstand push-up whenever I need it. So definitely don't abandon your push-ups. It's always great to have basics in your program and then taking those basics and making them more challenging to fit your particular goals. The last thing I make sure to incorporate into my workout is adding in bodybuilding exercises. I know I'm mainly a calisthenics guy, but calisthenics doesn't necessarily hit every single muscle group in the most optimal manner. So I'll add in things like rear flies and lateral raises to hit different parts of the shoulder to help supplement and support the front of the shoulder that gets really hit when you do handstand push-ups on parallettes. So you don't always need to be pigeonholed into one type of training. Figure out what's going to hit your goals in the best possible way, and then build that into your programming. Thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you're able to take something from this video and implement it back into your training. And if not, hopefully there's just some insights that you can take about how I'm approaching hitting my goals when it comes to calisthenics. Please remember to like the video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel for future content. Leave a comment down below and share this with a friend if they are working on their handstand or handstand push-up journey. Have a good one, everyone. See you later.